Hi guys, Bokecrochet here. Today I'm working on my samawati bag and I'm going to attach the handle to it. And what I did, I already made the chain of 250 and I made it that long because I always like to get my the bag handles. If it's going to be a crossbody bag, I like to make it lengthwise so that it doesn't stretch when you're putting heavy stuff on the bag. So that's the reason why I like to make the longer chain as opposed to the shorter one. Okay, so what I did, I went ahead and slipped my yarn into the inside part of the bag, and most likely that side has to be where you're going to have a lining, or the lining is going to cover, and that's why I did that. See, so around that area, like at the end of the lining, so your lining gonna get across here, so you can sew it while you sew in the strap. So that's where you attach your yarn and then you start making the chain. So go ahead and make the chain, and then once you finish making the chain, you do this slip stitch. So this is now what I'm going to demonstrate. So after making the chain, you slip stitch. Usually I would like to do it on this part, these loops. See these loops at the back? So I usually don't do it right here. I usually do it right here because I'm going to stitch this bag a little bit differently, so I can make a strap that is really strong. So that's why I'm doing that. You can slip stitch, or you can slip stitch, or you can make a single crochet. It's up to you, whatever you want or whatever you feel comfortable with. So for now I'm just going to slip stitch the first round, and you slip stitch all the way to the end of the bag. And as you can see, I'm working on this part of the chain, the back side of the chain. Okay, so the front side of the chain looks like that, so I'm not working there, I'm just working on the back side of the chain. And the reason why I'm working on that, I would like to work on the two loops over here. When I come back, I'll show you why I like to work on these two loops. So that's why I'm working on this part of the chain. And by working on those two loops makes your strap to be a little bit stronger than the usual strap. So continue working on this to the end of the row, because this strap is going to work it back and forth, so it's going to be worked in rows. And then once you get to the end of the bag, I will show you what to do next. Okay, I'm at the end of the row right now, so I worked the last stitch. So what you need to do right now, after you do the entire chain, you go ahead and secure your stitch right there, see, on the inside of your bag. And that will be your last stitch. So now you can turn, and then you work on the next row. So all the time, once you get to the end of the row, you secure your stitch to the edge of the bag. And then that doesn't mean it's completely secured, so that's why I leave this tail once I finish securing the tail, I will still sew it. Okay, I will still sew it to make it more intact, so it doesn't, you know, stretch or come out, or the bag, you know, usually like with a lot of weight in the bag, it may tend to come off, or it may tend to break. So I will still secure it by sewing using the tails right here. Okay, so now in the next row, I will work on a single crochet. And how I'm going to work it is, instead of doing the loops up here, I will do these two loops right here. It may be hard for you to see, but let me work until I get outside from inside the bag, and then I'll show you. So you single crochet into these two loops right here, and that's why I worked on the back of the stitch. Oh, the back of the chain, I'm sorry. I don't know whether you can see what I'm doing, but let me just work a little bit so I can show you. This is so close to the edge, it's not really visible. Okay, so now I can show you. So here, okay, where you need to work on, you see these two stitches right here, you see these two loops, they are close to each other. These two loops, one is here and the next one is here. Okay, so those are the loops that you work on. So you work on all these loops, and then you single crochet all the way to the end of the row. And then when you doing the returning row, you will work on these two stitches, on these two loops, these two right here. As you can see, it gives it the thickness by folding it like that, so it gives it a little bit of thickness, and that's why I like to use this particular technique for the back, so it's kind of really thick and strong. So I guess you guys can see what I'm working on, that stitch and that one. These two loops right there, that one, the first one is that one, and the second loop is that one. First loop, second loop, insert hook into the first loop and insert hook into the second loop, draw the yarn over and draw the yarn. See? So that's how you're going to work for the entire row. So just go ahead and work on that, and then I'll show you what to do next when you come back. Okay, I'm at the end of the row, and one thing I needed to point out, if you prefer to have your strap attached all the time, it's okay. You could go ahead and attach it anytime you turn. You work on the other side and then you turn. But to me, I don't want it attached, but it's okay for you to do that if you wish to do that. Okay, so next I'm going to I worked onto the last stitch, as you can see. So the next round I'm going to do, I usually do not like to chain at the beginning of the round. I usually don't do that on my work. So you just go ahead and make sure you work on the first stitch as such, and then you work on the second, so that's how you're going to work the entire row. So now you work the 2 stitches, and the loops are going to be this one and that one. So when you do that, it closes up this area, and then it makes your work a little bit thick. See, so your bag is going to be really thick. Your bag strap, I mean, is going to be really thick. So, and that was the goal. So in every single round, or in every single row, you do the 2 loops that I've showed you. So work your project and then make your strap as big as you want it. I personally do not like a skinny strap, because any skinny strap, it's not good on your shoulders when you're carrying stuff, and especially heavy stuff in the bag, because it puts pressure on your shoulder. So as a consumer of a product, I would like my stuff a little bit wide. The wideness of the strap distributes the weight evenly, so it doesn't have to put pressure on your shoulder. So that's how I would prefer to do it. Once you do the required number of rounds, and your strap, you feel that it's enough, or it's wide enough for your liking, go ahead on the last to finish up your work, because personally, once you make the strap, that's not good enough for me. So what you need to do, you go ahead and do the crab stitch. Okay, do the crab stitch at the edges. You can make it with the same color, or you can do the different color, like the yellow color. Okay, so it's up to you, and however you want to design it, or whichever color you want to put there. So once you do that, it's gonna look really elegant and very nice, and this is how it's gonna end up looking. I did not want to show you this one because the color is so black and it's not really visible when you're working on it. So once you finish working on your rounds, or your rows, I'm sorry, you just go ahead and finish it up with a scrap stitch, which is reverse single crochet, and that's how you're gonna do your work. And then for this inside yarn, these yarns that I have to the inside of the bag, I've not still worked on them. I'm going to make another video tutorial on what to do with them and how I usually use them. Okay, until next time, I think my video is done. So don't forget to leave me a comment down below, subscribe, like, share, and turn on the notification bell for a new contents. You can check out my website for the step-by-step picture illustrations, new technique, designing process, and Bokecrochet portfolios. So you can check it up on my website. For any communication, interaction, or other questions, it's okay for you to use my social media handles, Bokecrochet. Until next time, have a good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. Bokecrochet signing out.